hardcore. God damn, that's my fucking jam. They know who I am, bitch. Bounce, homie, smoke an ounce. Fuck it.
Hey Kupos, what's up? Final here today, Final Fantasy Talk, and today we're going to talk about some more Final Fantasy 15 news discussion today. And today, what we're going to talk about is some news that we got a couple of weeks ago. You know, sometimes Final Fantasy YouTubers, what they do with some news anyway, they push it back and do a video later on in the future about it because, sometimes we need ideas for the future because we don't have any other ideas. So today, what I'm gonna more go on to is dungeons in Final Fantasy 15. I'm pretty sure I did talk about it a while ago, but I didn't really talk too much details on what the artist was talking about from the blog and whatnot news. So basically, the artist that got interviewed about dungeons from the blog was saying that he wants to make unforgettable, scary experiences in the Final Fantasy 15 game, and he likes adding, very dark, beautiful, scary areas in the dungeons that he is making for the Final Fantasy 15 game. So basically, yeah, they want to make unforgettable dungeon experiences in Final Fantasy 15. Now, remember I made a video probably a couple or a few weeks ago saying, the open world is going to be split into 3 sections, which normally does happen in FF games anyway. And for Final Fantasy 15, possibly it'll be, open world, cities, and then dungeons, and that's your 3 sections right there. And dungeons, there will be a lot of dungeons in Final Fantasy 15 confirmed and whatnot. And dungeons have a huge part of the game and missions and whatnot as well. Now, I don't think all dungeons are going to be all caves and whatnot, obviously. I hope not anyway. I hope they go more kind of like volcano, or go, somewhat of maybe I'm taking this a little bit too far, but something like a Zelda thing, dude. Like, there's certain areas like water, fire, wind, just completely different elements of dungeons in Final Fantasy 15. If they did something like that, I would be so down. And just imagine what they could create with that too. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be more caves and whatnot, going down into basically the earth of the ground, okay, and getting whatever is down there. The demo had a huge example of that, and by the way, that cave, okay, I played it, for the first time. I remember playing it for the first time, and that cave is so annoying, dude. The freaking monsters that keep spawning over and over again. Just imagine what the real game is going to be about, and the harder the dungeon will get. Now, I think they're going to try and make this into a really hard challenge as well, dungeons. I think definitely they're going to make each dungeon more harder and harder, and depending on what you get from it as well. Now, who knows if each summon will be coming from these dungeons. Like, how we got the summon for, we got the summon in the demo. You got to go down the cave, Noctis got his freaking his eyes electrocuted. You know what I'm trying to talk about. And got his summon. I hope every summon is not like that, but will more summons be more like that? I think a possibility could be just make it a way more harder dungeon and way more time into getting to the dungeon, even though the cave did take a little while to get through. I think more, if you're going to go more into the story and longer into the game, each cave should be longer and harder to get that new summon. To get another summon, I hope they do something besides the cave, but that's a completely different story. So anyway, dungeons, and another thing is, will dungeons only be like a summon thing? I hope dungeons are more just, something you can go into and get something, get an item from it, or get a very rare or something item to help you upgrade your weapons, or just something to trade in to get something back, something like Final Fantasy 7, where you basically, let's say you defeat, Ruby weapon, okay? You get a certain item, you get your gold chocobo. Now you can go into different caves throughout the whole open world with that golden chocobo and get whatever you want with, with your special item, and go into areas that you couldn't before, like stuff like that, getting stuff like that, so you can go into expand other world, expand other different areas or whatever, and go travel as much as you can. But that's going way too much depth into this whole on topic. But anyway, dungeons are going to be very important in the Final Fantasy 15 game. And for you, Kupos, I want you to let me know in the comments below. Do you think dungeons are only going to be for summons? Is it going to be for everything? Is it going to be for, rare and special items? Let me know in the comments below through Kupos. I think personally there will be for summons, and not all for summons, I hope anyway, and mainly for story as well. You know, you gotta go in this freaking dungeon, you gotta do this work here, get whatever's in there, defeat whatever is in there, maybe rescue somebody that's in there, and get the hell out of there. I think that's what they're gonna try and do for dungeons anyway, for the story. And yeah, so anyway, Kupos, this is what I talk about a little bit more. And yeah, so let me know in the comments below. And yeah, so hope you enjoyed. I'm out. See ya, bye.